Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Unnamed Horror Podcast. I am Aaron, and I have two awesome guests today who are both involved in the Forest Through the Trees. Mr. Vuha, the first time I've ever gotten to talk to you. I hope I'm saying your name right. If I'm not, I
That's perfectly
apologize.
fine.
And Marilyn Knapp, I've talked to you quite a few times. Lovely to have you on. How you doing? How you guys doing today?
Great.
Great, great.
Yeah.
So, since I haven't ever gotten to talk to you before, we will start with you first, man. How'd you get involved in acting? And I see you're a comedian. What kind of you do stand up things like that too?
Yeah. I'm a stand-up comedian. I kind of took a break when I started chasing the acting stuff. I've always wanted to be an actor, and my life kept me busy, so I was never able to pursue it until I got divorced about 6 years ago, which kind of opened up the opportunity. So I started pursuing things I wanted to do, and acting is one of them. And that's pretty much how I just started doing it.
Cool. Okay. How many movies have you been involved in?
Oh, I haven't had any too many major roles. I've done a lot of background work, like most of us actors who are just starting. We do tons of background work so we can at least get our feet in the door and everything. The biggest production I guess I've done was an independent Vietnam War movie called Love and Country. I played a monk in that. This is like a 5-minute scene, but other than that, it's mostly just background work. The most recent one, as far as background work goes, is you saw Twisters. There's a scene in Twisters at the beginning, around the 15-minute mark is up, then you see me in the background ordering pastries and coffee.
Oh, cool. So we do have a big time celebrity in our midst.
There you go.
No, I haven't gotten to see Twisters yet, but man, I want to. I was going to go see it last week, and I was going to take my 8-year-old because I thought he'd be into it, and then he got scared to death and didn't want to go because
Oh,
tornadoes scare him. So we didn't
no.
go, but at some point I will definitely because I love the first one. It's one of my
Oh,
favorite movies
it feels
ever. So
great. I mean, the
I was
new
pretty
one
excited about this one, and I've heard
yeah, the
good
new
things.
one's
So
pretty good.
congratulations on being involved in it.
Thank you.
How'd you meet Jason to get involved in the Fourth of the Trees?
Jason, actually, I worked with him when he was doing, he's like sourcing background extras for, I believe it was Shaky Grounds that I connected with him. And then, he got me hooked up on that. But at the same time, he has a friend who makes Star Trek fan films, and he was making this big multiverse type of fan film that he's working on. And he wanted to. There's a scene in the classic Next Generation season 1 where you see this Asian crew member wearing one of the Star Trek skirts is one of the things that the men also wear, and he comes walking in the background of the scene, and it became an iconic scene. And Josh always wanted to remake that in one of his movies, so he called up Jason and said, "Hey, do you have an Asian guy who'd be willing to wear a mini skirt?" And Jason said, "Hey, I just cast someone in this other background role. I'll give him a call." And he called me up, and I went ahead and did that weekend. And so since then, I've been connected with Jason. So still there?
Yeah, I
Oh,
don't
okay.
know if you can hear me. I'm so sorry. My internet is really messed.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we didn't hear you there at that point. Well, Aaron, if you are hearing us, we aren't hearing you. So we'll wait. Oh, here we go. Oh,
Oh,
second.
great. Here we go. Whoop.
Sorry, guys. My internet just went really wonky on me for some reason, and I just disappeared.
No worries. No worries.
Gotta love freaking technology sometimes.
See? Yeah.
If it happens again, just keep talking, and I'll pop back in as soon as I can. Um, but yeah, no, that's cool. Marilyn, we kind of know the story, but if you want to like repeat it again on how you got to meet Jason and get involved in this sort of thing.
Yeah. Oddly enough, it was during the pandemic, and had already started getting into acting, and so I was on Facebook a lot trying to, you know, find pages, acting pages with casting calls and different stuff. And on Real Arkansas, Jason had posted, he was looking for locations, and it was cemeteries, and for a film called The Cemetery, a script that he had written. And I'm like, well, it's a pandemic. I'll just go look at cemeteries. I love them anyway. And so we started talking through Facebook about it. I sent him some pictures and different stuff of the locations. And then out of the blue, he asked me if I acted. And I'm like, yeah, I act. And then he said, would you like to audition for this film? And it was called Alone. And the character's name was Patty. And I'm like, yes, I would. And anyway, that's how I met him. It was over the internet. And then of course, when we started filming Alone, that was the first time I actually met him in person. But we had talked a lot before that.
It's kind of crazy how that works out. Like, I've met, like, I've talked to you guys. I mean, this first time I got to talk to you, but everybody else I've talked to multiple times, and literally Marilyn and Jason are the only two people I've met. But I talked to everybody else involved with Forest Through the Trees at some point. Just talked to them over the phone, talked to them over Skype or Zoom or whatever, but never met any of them face to face. That's You can know somebody for a year or two and not even talk to them face to face.
That's true.
So you may have answered this a minute ago when I got cut off and you did it. I'm sorry, but what did you think when you first read the script? Was it something you were excited about? Do you like horror? Is it something you're excited about?
I love horror. When I saw the script and read it, I actually thought, I want to be a part of this. It was one of those scripts where I felt like in the right hands, this could be a really, really good movie. And so, when Jason started doing the casting calls, I started scrambling, seeing which one can I do.
That character, the character that you play, I've gotten to read the script too, was probably maybe my third favorite character after Chloe and Ken, because he's such and not without giving anything away, honestly, I can just say he's such a good friend. He's such a good friend to that Ken character that he kind of needs him to kind of ground him through the rest of the movie. So if they given that to, if of course Jason's not going to give it to somebody that can't pull it off, but if he had given it to somebody that couldn't pull it off, that character would have not been as good as I think it probably will be when the movie comes out, because the script was so well written.
Yeah, I loved him. I always liked those characters in movies. And nothing related to this story, but those characters in movies are always the one who always gets my heart, and then they end up getting killed at some point in the story. And always like, oh man, like in Misery, you have that really incredible sheriff who's doing all the inspecting stuff. Then I knew he's gonna die because he's such a good character and everything. But so characters like that, I always like, oh man, they're so cool. I just hope he makes it to the end. And so getting to play Tim, I was really excited about that. I actually remember reading for it because I read the script, and I remember the first thing they say in the script is that he's a buff, kind of a big guy and everything. I thought, oh man, I'm not buff, so I don't think I'm going to get this. So but I did it, and Jason liked it, and he cast me.
From everything I've heard, Jason's one of those people, like, the script is kind of the blueprint, but it's not the end all be all. So
yeah,
like if you can knock it out, he'll change a character a little bit just to give you that chance to pull it off. Marilyn, Mrs. Thompson, and yes, Mrs. Thompson. I put the wrong character down when I put this up. I called her Mrs. Anderson, which was a character from Alone, and I'm like, and then I get a message from Marilyn going, yeah, Aaron, very sweet. She's like, my name's Mrs. Thompson in this movie, not Mrs. Anderson. I'm like, oh crap, you're so right. That's very way off. But I don't know. You can't tell us much about the character, Marilyn. But how long did it take you to kind of get into that role? I think you're on mute.
Sorry.
That's okay.
It didn't. I mean, I kind of had a good feeling for her immediately, but I think the biggest challenge for me was what is her role in this film? Relationship with the other characters, and So I think basically when Jason and I talked a lot about it, I was on track with what he was thinking. And it didn't really take too long. It's just mostly how, thinking about how will I respond to these situations? What are my intentions? What am I doing? And I had to work on that a little bit, but I kind of already knew her, sort of.
So you guys were, I don't know how long you both shot, but I know you guys were on set quite a bit. Is there any good on set like stories, funny stories that y'all can share? Maybe doesn't give away anything, but just some funny stuff that maybe happened on set or something that happened to you, maybe.
I mean, for me personally, I actually did. I probably have the least amount of scenes in the movie as far as characters go. So I wasn't on set as much, and when I was on set, the thing is, my character, he kind of, and you've read the script, but he doesn't really know what's going on. He doesn't see a lot of stuff that happens, and because of that, I didn't want. I know this is very method of me, but I didn't want to see them filming those scenes because I wanted my character to be oblivious of it all. So even when I was on set and they were filming some of the, the scenes, the ritual scenes, and stuff like that, I could have gone down and watched them film it. But I told myself, you know what? As much as I want to see them film it, I'm not going to, because I want to keep my head clear of any of it, because my character shouldn't see any of that stuff. So unfortunately, I don't have any stories for that reason.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's very like that's very cool of you actually, because it'd be hard. I don't know about you, but for me, like it would have been hard not to go watch that, just because I'm such a huge horror movie fan, and a lot of the kind of more, I don't know, horror movie stuff is done in those kinds of in those scenes, not necessarily in the scenes you're in. So it would have been hard for me not to go, oh man, I want to go see what's going on. But
Well, I mean, the first night I was there, it was like that because I was sitting up in the waiting area and I could hear them out there screaming, and I heard all this other stuff going on. I go, oh man, I gotta go see that, but then nope, I can't. I gotta stay up here. And I disciplined myself very well that night. So
You did.
what about you, Marilyn? You have any like good stories from the set or anything that happened to you on set that might have been funny or entertaining?
Yeah, I don't know that I can. Of course, the main things were the special effects and stuff. But I don't know that I can actually tell exactly everything. But there were a few funny incidents with it. And all I could say is special effects were amazing, and all the makeup and all that stuff. And we had a little fun with it.
oh, I think we have lost you again there.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is where we edit this out. Let's cut this.
Right.
There
Just
you
do
go.
that. Fill in the space right there. Fill in the space. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember how I posed right when we lost him, so we make sure we don't see it edited out. I think I was like this. There we go.
There we go.
Edited. Nope. Okay. Well, while we're waiting, I guess I'll talk to you.
Okay.
No, I mean everything's looking great. I mean, and these kind of interviews always get me because I have to think in my head, what can I say without ruining anything?
Oh, I know.
I mean, you saying the special effects. Yeah, I wanted to give specific examples of things that I saw in the waiting room. Like, well, that'll give that away, and whoop, that'll give that away. So I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah. It's yeah, for my scene, that one special scene that I mean, there's several, I mean, couple, but that one, it was so much fun.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I can't even talk about it.
I know. I know. Yeah.
No, I think one of the things that I was excited about for this movie for most of the cast is pretty much everyone really goes through some intense stuff in the in the movie. So
Absolutely. Very intense stuff. Maybe not initially or whatever, but eventually
yeah,
it
absolutely.
all comes around to them.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, guys. My internet went wonky again.
No
Um,
problem.
so I know you guys are probably looking forward to this movie coming out. Do y'all have anything coming up, like movie wise or even stand up wise? Ooh, you gonna get back into stand up anytime soon?
Oh well, as far as stand-up goes, I like I said, I don't do much of it right now just because my schedule doesn't allow for it. But I am going. The Berryville Film Festival that Julia is doing. She said that she was going to do like a little side stage thing where they're going to have some comedians doing stand-up, and she, asked if I wanted to do a set, and I said, sure, I'll do that. So I'll be doing a little set there. So getting kind of give me a chance to go back to the roots of the comedy a little bit there, so that'll be fun. But other than that, as far as projects coming up, if I forget which projects I've done stuff on, and most of it's been background work, so that's why I don't always remember. But I know, like, Enthralled, that one I did. I actually had a small role in that one, a little tiny role, but that one, like, they're finally getting closer to getting that one out there. And then Shaky Grounds we got coming up, and then The Tower, and I think there's one other one. There's one that we did in Oklahoma called Sarah's Oil. So I've got a few projects coming up, but they're all, background things. So it's going to be one of the things where I won't even know if I'm going to be seen in it until it comes out.
Right. What about you, Marilyn?
Well, I completed, of course, Jason's film, and then a Western called Broken Trail, which I actually had a principal role in it, which just means talking a little bit. But it was so phenomenal, and I'm so grateful for it because my first time with really having a speaking role with an actor that I've known for a long time. And so I'm looking forward to that. And then I've been on some sets with Vu, also as background, like Vu, you were in Sovereigns too. So
Oh yeah, Sovereign. I
you
saw
had a
that.
big
Yeah,
role in that one. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
yeah. So Sovereigns and Fortunes.
Oh yeah, in Fortune Shadow.
In Fortune Shadow and Shaky Grounds. I'm looking forward to that. That's getting closer to coming out now. And but all background on those for me too. There's probably a couple others, but I can't remember them. Yeah, I always love doing background. I don't mind it one bit. It's so much fun to be on set every single time.
Oh yeah, and I get a lot of people who ask me, well, why are you doing all this background work? Well, shouldn't you be looking for bigger roles? And of course, we want bigger roles. But in the meantime, when you're doing the background work, number one, you get to learn more about the process. You get to see how
Yes.
everything's done. But secondly, a lot of actors, even the big name ones, they all started out doing tons of background work. So you got to go through the whole process. I'm not going to be discovered in a coffee shop or anything like that. It's going to be one thing where I'm going to work my way towards it. And I recently saw like this video where they're showing all these famous actors and the background work they did in the early days. And there's one like Brad Pitt played this waiter at a restaurant, and you can see him moving around in the background, not main focus or anything, but look, there's freaking Brad Pitt. And I'm not saying I'm never going to be Brad Pitt, but even he started here, so it's all cool.
Yeah, and you make connections, you make friends, and just the whole experience is always a wonderful thing to me. Yeah.
It's really cool that the Arkansas film industry is getting so much bigger now that people are making big movies here. I know Twisters wasn't made in Arkansas, but it was made just across the border. I mean, it wasn't too far away in Oklahoma. So the Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas area is getting pretty big as far as movies, and it's really cool to see all these big names. Dennis Quaid did a movie here not that long ago. Meg Ryan's done movies here. I'm a huge fan of Woody Harrelson. He did a TV show here at one point, like a series. I think he was in that True Detective series that shot here. Matthew McConaughey, was he in that series? He might not have been in that season, but I know.
Yeah, he wasn't in that season, but they did do True Detective season 3 here. So
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
But still, this big name like David Arquette lives here now, and he does movies. He's done some movies in Northwest Arkansas, so it's just really cool that people are here now.
Oh, and the industry is moving. away from LA. I mean, for the longest time, LA, Hollywood that's where you had to be if you wanted to do these things. But now it's been proven that great movies, can be done all over, anywhere. And, and so in doing so, in a way, it's kind of hurting Los Angeles. They're actually having a lot of studios, they're having actors, crew members leaving Los Angeles now. A lot of them relocating to Atlanta, Georgia. A lot of them relocating to Dallas and stuff, because there are so many other movies being made across the country now.
Right. And see, what was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. That happens sometimes. No, you're good. I just something popped into my head while you were talking, and then because I'm getting old, I lost it.
Ever.
Oh yeah, so I know now. So I come up with this idea, which is nothing new. People do it on podcasts all the time, but I want to ask you both to name some favorite different things. Or either of you, I know you both are movie fans. Either of you like sports?
Ooh, I'm not a sports person myself, so if you ask me what my favorite sports would be, I'd say like tiddlywinks or something.
I have always been a big baseball fan, but when I was younger, when I actually played a lot of sports, but I think my priorities have changed quite a bit since I've been older, and I've got granddaughters and grandson and all that kind of stuff. It's not that much of a priority to me anymore, but I do still love baseball.
I wish I could say that. I blame my father for getting me into sports when I was a kid. It's just something that I can't. I've tried to stop watching and stop following, but I have those favorite teams, and no matter, every year I go, I'm not going to care next year. I'm not going to get into it, and then every year I get into it, and so next year I'm not going to do it again, and so now I'm just giving up. It's just part of my life. It's just what it is.
It is. It's hard, but you just have to have fun with it. You can't let it get to you. If it makes you upset, don't do it.
It used to until I had kids. That part has changed. I don't get as mad anymore because I have my kids around now. But what are some of your favorite movies? Like, Vu, do you have a movie that you go to when you really want to sit down and just watch something?
I have a little bunch that I do. I mean, all of us do, but the ones that I think the movies I've watched the most in my lifetime, and there's like 3 or 4 of them. Jaws.
Oh my God, you're my hero. It's my favorite movie. It's my favorite movie ever.
That's incredible. I mean, that's awesome. But there's Raiders Lost Ark and Transformers the movie. And that's the third one is the weird one because that comes from my childhood, but that brings back so many memories. But those are 3 I've seen to watch the most in my lifetime. So,
what about you, Marilyn?
Well,
I see you on that podcast, so I know you watched a lot of older movies. So.
Well, Jaws is, when somebody asks me what's your favorite movie, Jaws. That's it.
Okay. This is officially my favorite podcast I've ever done. So you guys are.
It's like this. There's no question about it. I don't even hesitate. It's one of the most amazing movies I saw when I was like 15 years old. And it made such an impression on me that's my go-to. It has everything in it. It's horror, it's comedy, there's a little bit of romance, there's lots of drama, thriller, suspense, everything is in it. It's adventure, it's action, and for sure, it's my favorite. I tend to do a lot of disaster movies and Hitchcock. A lot of Hitchcock.
Yes.
Yeah, I have to watch Hitchcock. If it's on, I'm watching it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, if I had to make a list of my top 10 favorites, I'd probably have 3 Hitchcock movies in there.
Yeah.
Vertigo, Jaws, Rear Window. Rear Window, Psycho, and The Birds.
The Birds.
3 of my favorite movies ever.
Absolutely. Yep, they're wonderful. They're masterpieces. They really are.
They remade Disturbia, or when they remade Rear Window a few years ago, it was called Disturbia.
Yeah, that's the
I
one.
actually,
Well, it was awful. I'm sorry, but it was.
I was, I was gonna say I didn't think it was all that bad. I like David Morse in it, okay, but I'm
Yeah,
just not a big Shia LaBeouf fan. But other than having to watch him for 2 hours, the rest of it was okay.
yeah.
But
It was. I took it just for what it was and tried to forget that it was a remake because there's no remaking
Rear Window.
Window
no,
ever. Mm-mm.
they tried that with Psycho, and it was probably the movie that made me the most angry in
Oh,
my life. Like I don't get mad at it. I don't get mad at movies. Like if I don't like it, that's fine. I'm sure there's other people that like it. I have yet to find one person in the planet. I'm sure they are, but I've yet to find one that liked the 1998 Psycho because it was just so
oh
dumb.
goodness, yeah. That
Yeah,
was an
And,
odd experiment. You know, Gus Van Sant was really trying something. They're trying to do a shot-for-shot remake, but changing little details throughout, and it
little
just
details. Yeah,
it didn't work.
yeah. I hated it too, but every time I've seen it since, because I still watch stuff, even though I hate it
oh yeah, I'm the
sometimes.
same way. Yeah.
I know I can't help it, but it's kind of grown on me a little bit. I don't know.
Well,
Uh,
I love Vince Vaughn, and I didn't think he was that bad. I think he got
well, he did
unfairly
good.
fairly ridiculed. Yeah, I
Mm,
thought he got unfairly ridiculed because everybody hated the movie so much. They were like Vince Vaughn. No, Vince Vaughn did fine. I thought he did just fine. And Hayes was good.
Yeah,
Uh, all the actors were great. They're all he got a
yeah,
huge, great list of actors to be in
yeah.
that movie. I just hated the fact that it was a shot for shot remake. I knew exactly what was going to happen. I don't mind remakes, but change some things here and there to make it a little bit different, and I'm good with it. Like,
I think I'm sorry. I think
no, no,
any
go ahead.
actor that steps up to do an iconic classic like that, um, I kudos to them because I would be terrified. I'd be like, "Oh no." Yeah, but I mean that's amazing to me to say, "Yeah, I'm going to do this." A Hitchcock film. Yeah. Mm,
It was like I said, I'm like you. I watch movies that I know I don't like. Like Nightmare on Elm Street's my favorite franchise. I love every movie in that franchise except for Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare. I despise that movie. But I'll still watch it if it's on TV because it's a Freddy Krueger movie. So I'll still turn it on and watch
yep.
it. The more I watch it, the more I remember why I didn't like it in the first place. And I saw it as a kid. I was like 8 when it came out. My aunt took me to see it in the theaters because I grew up on horror movies. And even as a kid, I watched that movie and went, "Well, this movie sucks. I should have went and seen Chucky because Chucky had just come out. Child's Play 3 had just come out too. Like I should have went and seen Chucky instead of seeing this piece of crap." Even as a kid, I knew it sucked. So, but like yeah, I'll still watch it just because it's a Freddy Krueger movie and I own it. I own the whole series on Blu-ray, so I'll watch it. But um, who are some of you guys' like favorite? Like you have favorite writers, like people that even if you don't necessarily like the director, but you know this person wrote it, you think it'll be pretty good.
hmm. I mean, for me, seems a little cliche, but I love pretty much anything the Coen brothers will do.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just love their style. I mean, the dialogue, that they write is just. I love the way the people talk in their movies. So.
Yeah, no, the Coen brothers are great. I'm a Tarantino guy too, so
Oh,
anything Tarantino
Yes,
does.
absolutely. Uh-huh.
That one just sort of popped into my head. It wasn't a question I was going to ask, but I thought, you guys are actors, so I'm sure you guys have to have writers that you look at and go, they wrote the movie. I'm at least going to give it a chance because it might be good. Um, what are some things you guys like to do for fun when you're not acting? Just sort of, when you're on your own doing things on your own. What is some stuff you like to do to just have fun?
Marilyn, you go first this time.
Oh, well, that's easy. Watching movies, playing with my dog, spoiling my grandchildren, and I guess just enjoying everything that's out there, whether, even though I hate grocery shopping, but, going to a grocery store and seeing people and, uh, I'm a people watcher, I guess. That's what I love. Maybe that's one of the reasons why I'm an actor is because just watching people and experiencing whatever they bring, I guess. Hopefully positive stuff, but yeah.
I used to do that back in the day when before all the security happened at the airports where you can't go past the gates and stuff back in the day. I used to love just going to the airport to watch people traveling. I did this in college. I would go up there and I would just hang out and I would just watch people going by because I loved watching all the different people and all the different things, the little dramas they're going through and everything and stuff like that. So I like watching people too. I think it's fun.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I didn't want to cut this shorter than 30 minutes. We've hit 30 minutes, but my internet just keeps going so funky. I keep having to run around, and I don't want to keep cutting you guys off or disappearing on you. So
that's okay.
You guys want to give one last little statement on The Forest Through the Trees for people that are watching? Like, what can they look forward to? What can they expect when it comes out?
I'm just telling people just come and support it. I mean, it's going to be, outside of the fact that it's going to be a really fun, horror movie for you to watch. I just always push people, even in this area, especially to support local filmmaking. It's this area has got so much talent, outside of, Jason, but there's just so great crew members, so much good writing, directing, just so many great people with so much potential here. And if we can get more attention to this area and get more of those productions coming down here too and whatnot, man, it'd just be amazing. So I think, just come out and support the movie for that reason.
Yeah, exactly. With Forest Through the Trees, Jason's ensemble of cast and crew is amazing. And one of the things that I really enjoy about working with Jason is because he has a true family, a film family, and he knows everyone's talents and he knows how to utilize them and make us all do our best. And I'm excited for this. I'm pretty certain that it's going to do great things, and I think everybody will enjoy it. I know there are people out there that don't like horror, but you could always, cover your eyes. But it should be a really good ride. It should be a really good thing to watch. And like Lou said, I mean, all of Arkansas, Northwest Arkansas especially, so full of talent. So let's support each other.
Absolutely. I completely agree. I want to thank you guys for coming on the Unnamed Horror Podcast. I would love to have you guys back when the movie comes out. We can talk about spoilers. We do like a spoiler party or something after the movie comes out. People have had a chance to see it, that sort of thing. But thank you guys, Vuha, who plays Tim, and Marilyn Knapp, who plays Mrs. Thompson in The Forest Through the Trees. Keep your eye out. If you don't, follow the Facebook page, and we'll have updates on when the movie's going to be premiered and then released. And I'm looking forward to it. So thank you guys so much for coming on. I appreciate it. And thank you guys for watching.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you, Aaron.